Howdy, guys. Welcome to episode 27 of the LODcast. As you may have seen with the title, this podcast episode is labeled 2020. And that's for a very particular reason. It's because this is the LODcast episode that's going to review the year 2020. Not really like the year itself, but more like the video games and stuff related to what we talk about here on the podcast. That's it. How was everyone's Christmas?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty good too.
It was very, laid back due to the pandemic, so there wasn't much going on. But I got some more RAM for my computer.
I ended up getting the next two seasons to The Last Kingdom. So I have seasons 1 and 2 already, and then I got 3 and 4 on disc because that's one of my favorite shows of all time.
I don't really celebrate Christmas, but I hung out with my girlfriend this year.
Pagan.
We made cookies. So
I thought you were gonna say something different.
I mean, let's be real. Out of all of us here, I'm the pagan. I'm the atheist. So I mean, and at least Ash believes in a god.
Oh, all right. With that said, we can move
Enough
on.
Jeebus talk.
Yeah,
It's time for video games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Matt, take it away.
All right. So, like Ash said before, it's 2020. Looking back, starting with everyone's favorite award show, The Last of Us 2 awards. So, what did you guys think?
Oh my!
I'm still salty.
God.
I'm still salty.
So I think
Fuck The Last of Us 2.
let's just go through this chronologically, right? It started. It was like, all right. They're giving out awards to the games equally. I didn't really like some of the games that they gave awards to, like in the pre-show. But then the second that the actual show started, I was like, what the fuck? This is the 4th fucking game award,
Yeah.
and The Last of Us 2 has won it. Like, it was either The Last of Us 2 or Among Us that won everything.
Yeah.
Like, what's
The
going
first
through the
hour
head,
was
Jeff?
okay.
I mean, to be fair, I wasn't upset to see Among Us win, just because it's like they are an indie developer, right? It was like 4 people that made that game, so I wasn't too upset when all that came to fruition. But The Last of Us 2 had such a controversy behind it already, and already had such a divided base. And of course, I can't help but compare it to the new Star Wars movies, where all the critics can't stop celebrating it, but all the fans are super divisive on it and divided about it.
Subvert expectations.
See, I have a conspiracy theory about this. So the reason why the Star Wars movies did so well critically is because, think about it, the critics need to give good reviews so they can keep getting early access to movies, right?
Oh, I've heard something similar to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wouldn't the same? This is definitely like, it's not so much the movie industry, but like with the games industry, that happens all the time. Like, they're not necessarily paid off, but if you give a game a bad review, chances are the company's gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, didn't you? God, I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was Square Enix that did it not too long ago. They were issuing cease and desists on people who are giving negative reviews of their games on YouTube's. On YouTube. I think it was Square Enix. I cannot remember it.
So I'm utterly convinced. Who owns Naughty Dog? Was it 2?
No, Naughty Dog is owned by Sony, like Interactive Studios.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe I haven't heard much of Sony doing that, just because like they're the console owners, and same way Microsoft doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
But still,
It's difficult to say, just because like I love Naughty Dog, but I don't hate the game because of the things they tried to do. I hate the game because you made me wait 8 years for a game that has no story to it, and that consistently has plot holes.
Yeah.
see, I haven't played the game, but
It's like driving on a road and there's so many potholes, and then you finally get off that road and you're like, wow, that was fucking annoying. But then you have other people who just kind of like cruise through and be like, oh no, that was a great road. No, and I'm just like, no, it wasn't. It was a piece of shit.
It's The Last of Us 2 is so divisive, and when I did my review on it, I tried to remember like the good things about it, just because I was so disappointed. I wasn't as disappointed as Wolfenstein 2. That one was a bad one,
Yeah.
but when it came to The Last of Us 2, as I was writing my review, I was doing really negative. I was about to give it like a 5 out of 10, right? But then I was like, nah. When I was like halfway through, when I was Ellie and I was about to catch up to Abby, and that was like 17 hours in, probably like halfway, I was excited. I was like, finally, we're here. We're going to catch up. We're going to kick some ass, right? And then obviously whole transitions into Abby, and that's where I started getting the negativity. But I gotta say, at least for half the game, I was really enjoying half the game, so I had to remember that.
Yep. So we're just gonna wrap it up in a little bow. We don't like The Last of Us 2, and and hopefully we'll never talk about it again.
Yeah, and the thing is, just like to add at the end, like every other year, I feel like the game of the year was something that was like generally respected by everyone.
Yeah.
Like what was
God,
it
Because
last
we
year?
had
Sekiro?
last year. Last year was, I think, Sekiro, but it might have been Red Dead 2.
No, Sekiro.
Okay, well, Sekiro.
2018 was between Red Dead and God of War, and God of War
And
won.
God of War won it, but God of War was a damn good game, and so was
Yes.
Red Dead 2. I played both of them.
And then
And
2017 was Breath of the
2017.
Wild, right?
And
Yeah.
then 16, yeah, and then 16 was Overwatch, and 15 was, I think, The Witcher 3. And
yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition was 2014. The Witcher 3 was 2015. So yeah, overall, it's like it seems like we get respectable games. I know Overwatch is kind of contested today, but I mean at the time Overwatch was massive.
Yeah.
It still kind of is today. But
when it comes to the Game Awards, the first half was pretty good when it came to like the premieres for shit, like the new Back 4 Blood game. That was pretty good. I played the alpha for it.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
But I'm pretty sure Ash hated the last reveal.
I was excited. You know what? I was excited. I love Mass Effect. I'm happy about it. And I love Dragon Age 4, and I'm happy Dragon Age 4 got announced. I'm happy that's going to be there. I did get some good reveals out of this.
Well, I'm kind of worried about that, because, like, BioWare, what's going to happen? Is it going to be them making the games?
So, like, yeah, BioWare, it's weird. A lot of the people who were originally founded BioWare that made all the Mass Effect and Dragon Age games, most of them are gone. So it is a new team and everything. I think it's only like a third of the original team is there. Something like it might be smaller. But I'm not worried. I think they need to just really focus on... Because Mass Effect Andromeda story was fine. It was a fine story, but it was very unpolished in terms of how it was graphically and like all the bugs like received with that kind of stuff. So I think if they focus on that, it'll be great, because if they get a decent enough story out there and then just focus in on making it look good and not have any bugs, it'll be well received. It'll be a good game.
And I think I remember with the development of Andromeda, it was like they didn't actually figure out the core gameplay loop until like a year and a half before the game launched.
And it got delayed a lot too. It got delayed by at least like 8 months. It was nuts.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. For me, as you mentioned, there weren't many good reveals except for like. Actually, I don't remember it.
Arc 2, bro.
Oh my god, Arc 2. We didn't talk about that. Dude, Vin Diesel is in video games now.
Yeah, dude, that's what the Fast and Furious game was. It was to introduce Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the picture of Vin Diesel with hair in the new movie he's making?
Wait, what?
No, what?
I saw it on fucking Reddit last night and I was like, what the hell? But
Vin Diesel.
I'm looking it up and I'm posting it right now.
They announced that new Evil Dead game too, which I'm excited for.
That looked good.
I'm excited.
There you go, boy.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
What the fuck?
It looks so fake.
What the fuck is that?
It doesn't even look like the hair from the first one. It's like a fucking
What
tuft.
the hell? Yikes.
Me, 2020 can't surprise me anymore. 2020 Vin Diesel with hair.
Yeah, so
Holy
if you guys
fuck.
didn't see the stream we did, I posted a bunch of highlights, but we
Yeah,
had
I
lots
watched it.
we had lots of
Yeah.
fun with Vin Diesel here.
Yeah.
We really did.
And what Ash said during stream is how they're releasing Arc 2, yet Arc 1 isn't even finished.
Yeah, did
Pretty
you guys see
much.
how bad Arc runs on Switch? It's like 3 or
They released that on Switch?
Dude,
yeah, it looks so
they
bad.
released it. It runs rough on Xbox and PlayStation 4. What do you mean they put it on Switch? Like, oh man, I don't know. There were a lot of games that were announced that could be good or bad. There are a lot of indie games. There were a ridiculous amount of indie games that just kind of looked the same, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think with that, do we have anything else that we want to talk about with the Game Awards?
First
I
half
can talk
was
about his disappointment.
Well, we can
But-
talk about the
Like-
disappointment in the community section.
yeah. But video
Okay.
game awards, good in the first half, shitty in the last half. No cringe.
Yeah, surprisingly no cringe.
Like a 3 out of 5.
Ghost of Tsushima should have won Game of the Year, but yes, 3 out of
They didn't
5.
have- Yep. All right, now it's time for topic 2. Unless Ash, would you like to give the video game awards a rating? It's probably gonna be lower than a 2.
I give it a 1 out of 5.
Yep. For reasons you will soon find out.
Reasons we'll talk about later. Stick around.
This has been a great year for disappointment. Because we had a pandemic, and when you
Fall
think about it,
Guys.
how has it affected the game industry? Like, yeah, we had delays and shit, but there's also stuff that kind of fucked with it all.
So every game release I played this year was unfinished.
Yeah.
Like, even the one, like, for example, obviously I've played the MMO stuff, well, related to Fallout and Elder Scrolls more, but with, like, the Fallout 76 releases this year, fucking terrible. Like,
Yeah.
broken and on launch, then they got better, obviously. And then ESO, which usually they launch, like, all their stuff pretty well in comparison to other MMOs. But, like, game was crashing, it still is crashing a lot, and some quests were super bugged. Things that I've never seen bug out were bugged. And I don't know, I was just really disappointed. And then, like, stuff I didn't play, which we're not going to get into too much, but Cyberpunk. Like,
It runs for me. That's all that matters.
That's what I was actually going to mention, Ash, is that I feel like they CD Projekt Red really should have either made it so it didn't come out for the previous gen, or they should have explicitly
Yeah.
put a warning out there for how it would look.
It's like when Crisis 1 came out.
and
Oh
yeah,
wow,
it
you're really
couldn't
going
run
back
on-
there.
It couldn't run on any console.
Yeah.
Crisis was fun. I liked Crisis.
I mean, they re-released Crisis this year with
Yeah, I
like
heard,
ray
and
tracing.
it looks like shit, I heard.
Yeah,
It seemed very 2020 for Cyberpunk to come
Yeah.
out and have such a disappointing release. At least for like some people. Obviously, it runs fine on PC and the newer consoles.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I think it's as of now, I don't think people should purchase the game, but give it a month or two. I think it's gonna come out and for a game that people are going to appreciate.
I'm waiting to buy it when I get a PS5, and I was gonna get it for that. But
I just feel bad
That's
for
what
them
I was
because
waiting
like
for.
it was pulled from the PlayStation Store and then was it pulled
Yeah.
from the Xbox Store?
No.
I don't know if it was pulled from Microsoft.
But like, imagine your
check.
game being so
Turn on my
bad.
Xbox. Mm.
in terms of performance that it gets pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crisis was fun. I liked Crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I love CD Projekt Red. I hate to see this happen to them because they're like one of the few game companies I still have any shred of like respect for.
Hmm.
But I really hope they manage to pull it together. I did see some people, I don't know if you guys saw it, about when they were issuing refunds to people, there are fans that were upset that they didn't get to keep the game. That's not how a refund works.
Oh, they just thought that the money was gonna come back and they can still play the game.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we
Yeah.
get to play the game still. It's like, that's not how a refund works, buddy.
Yeah. Best Buy allowed refunds for the game for like a week.
That's cool.
I mean, besides that though, I think I don't I don't know if this is completely true, but I know for a fact that like game just in general games started charging more for a lot of stuff. Like for ESO, like the prices for everything in game went up. Like not by much, but like by amount that you could notice. So like loot boxes basically they went up by like $1 or two in price.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, man. I don't understand why the games. Yeah, sure, you guys got to work from home. You got to do a lot of work. You might have to lay off people. But in the end, if your consumer doesn't have a job, right, or they're like not making enough,
Yeah, and they're on unemployment due to probably having a job that
laid them
like
off.
let's say you work at a movie theater and then the pandemic hits, so you're gonna be on unemployment.
Yeah, exactly. So like, before like you were spending money on a game, and now all of a sudden, like you can't do that anymore. I just feel like the way that they've been handling all this stuff. Obviously, some companies are better than others. It could have been a lot better. I mean, were there any other releases that were like terrible or companies that did shitty stuff this year? Besides, like,
Avengers,
Outside The Last of Us 2.
Avengers,
oh
Avengers,
yeah, that was
Avengers
this
is a big
year. I
one.
that
forgot.
was this year.
Yeah, I heard something. They lost 96% of their player base already.
Yeah.
I haven't seen things happen since For Honor a couple years ago.
Imagine taking the
Anthem.
studio who made fucking Deus Ex and making them make this game. Like, oh my
Man.
god.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like that actually did surprise the absolute hell out of me because For Honor was bad, but then looking at Avengers, that's even worse. I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, the combat in Avengers, I felt that the combat was really good. It's just everything else wasn't good.
Say like I heard that skins are like nuts too. Like it's like there's little to no skins and then they're overpriced
Yeah.
too.
And then the gear that you acquire, it doesn't make you like feel like you changed anything.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything like
Yeah.
visually, right?
Like, oh, I got new Hulk bones. Let me go change my bones that are like level 2 to level 5.
I haven't played too many games of this year, at least new games,
Yep.
because I think I got The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and then Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion, which Legion and Valhalla have their own problems, but I feel like that's also because we're at the end of a generation.
And it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, and it's Ubisoft.
So, speaking of a mess, we're just gonna go through 2020, and I'm just gonna list games, and we're just going to give it a rating, basically out of 10. I have the list right here, so we're gonna start with January, and I'm gonna see if there's anything.
Let's go.
Does anyone care? I know Warcraft 3 Reforged came out, and everyone hated it.
Didn't play it, but I heard some bad things about it.
Yeah, no, I know a little bit about the controversy, but basically what they ended up doing was, they promised that all the cutscenes would look really good, like they'd be super well animated. They'd be like, they had a trailer where like they released it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was
Everyone
like,
was flipping out.
and I was like, whoa, this is what they're gonna make. But then when they released the game, it was like in-engine, not cinematic, like basically how I don't know if any of you played Diablo or Diablo, like any of the Diablo games.
I played
Basically,
2.
yeah, so basically like the cutscenes, not the actual cutscenes, but like when the characters would like talk to each other in the game while you're playing. That's how everything looked.
Oh.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, and they gave a ton of refunds. They're like, well, we didn't promise the players this. We had to lay off a ton of employees. Look at us. We're in financial.
Kind of make it a sob story.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the year before 2019 was like the record earning year for Blizzard. So, like, why did you have to lay off
Yeah, they're gonna
20,000
sit there and try to
employees?
say, and considering Modern
Yep.
Warfare was selling Call of Duty of all time in 2019 because it's Activision Blizzard now, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like that was just a lie.
But yep. February, nothing happened. March was a big month. You had Animal Crossing, and then you had Doom Eternal, and you had Half-Life Alyx. So
Oh yeah.
Doom Eternal is a 5 out of 5 for me.
I
Animal
didn't play
Crossing,
Eternal, so
Doom Eternal is amazing.
I've only played like a bit of Doom Eternal. I don't own the game, so I've only ever played it like with friends or whatever, or
Hmm.
I've only seen it. I still think it's an amazing game because like Doom 2016 was that much fun.
Yeah.
Just take that and dial it up to 1,000,000.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
have
what they built so much off of Doom 2016. There's like a rhythm to the Doom Eternal with all the gadgets and how they actually play an important role. They're not just there. Like you
Yeah,
actually
like-
need to use the flamethrower, and then you also have to use the grenades.
yeah. So like I thought Doom Eternal was an amazing game. I feel like it pushed the genre forward.
Yeah.
And then Animal Crossing, not my
Great
cup
game.
of tea. It's not my
Great
cup of
game.
tea. Like
it was the first Animal Crossing I've ever played, and now I'm hooked on Animal Crossing.
I feel like Animal Crossing is MMOs for people who don't want to call it an MMO. Because you have to log in every single day. You have to do stuff
Yeah.
daily. And it takes like years for you to actually get somewhere.
It was pretty good. I'd give it like a 3.
I
out of
liked
5.
it. I would say like 3.5 out of 5, because obviously it's things I don't like going on every day and playing.
And then what was the
Then-
last one? Half-Life Alyx?
I didn't play it because
Nope,
I don't have
Didn't
the
play it.
I watched
Uh,
playthroughs though, and for a Half-Life game, I don't really know how it compares since no other Half-Life game has been VR. But for a VR
Yeah.
game, it's like it is
Yeah.
the top of
Prob-
the line.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best VR games I've seen. That's like a full blown story, not just like, where Beat Saber is a rhythm game. You don't see a lot of story games that are that good. Then this kind of like blew everything out of the water.
Did they have that Star Wars game where you play as Darth Vader?
Oh, Vader Immortal isn't nearly on that level.
This is the only VR game I can remember with a story.
And then you also had Neo 2. I did not play that.
Yeah,
I
Neo
didn't
2
play
was,
it, but I didn't hear much about it.
the original Neo was like a pretty big launch from what I remember, and then
I had a buddy who loved it.
Neo 2 just I heard it was a good game, but obviously it didn't make a big enough splash given the month it released in.
So now we're looking at April. We had My Friend Pedro, Resident Evil 3 remake, Final Fantasy 7 remake. What else? And those are all the big ones.
So My Friend Pedro is actually based off like a Flash game from Newgrounds.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I played it a little bit and it was pretty fun. Like you get to do everything in slow motion and you have bullet time and all that.
Yeah, I have it on Steam because I played it at PAX, and I loved it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna pick this up, and I picked it up, and it's a fun game. I didn't play Resident Evil 3 remake because I haven't beaten the 2 remake, but I heard it was meh.
Yeah, I heard Resident Evil 3 remake was because like they said like, or at least the reviews I saw were like the game was just too short. Like even the stuff they added to it to try and lengthen it just didn't do enough, and it wasn't nearly as good as the one they made before. Like where they went right in the first one, they messed up.
2 is amazing. Like, I'm not a big fan of the survival horror shit, but I played 7, then I played 2, and I love both of them. I think they're both great games.
See,
But
I haven't played any Resident Evil since Resident Evil 4 back in the day.
yeah, if you ever want to get back into them, I recommend 2,
All right.
the remake. But when
I
it
heard
comes to
7 was really good too. So
yeah, 7 is it was different than the other ones. I really enjoyed it. All right, May, nothing really happened. June, oh boy, we love June. We got Valorant officially came out in June. I love Valorant, but you know, it has its problems. 4 out of 5 for me. And then keep going down. And then we have The Last of Us Part 2. 2 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
Just well, I'm giving
1
it
out
a
of
2
5.
because of like the graphics. Like I'll at least
1
give
out
it
of 5.
that. All right, moving on. July we have Ghost of Tsushima.
Great game.
Yeah, pretty sure I would give that like a 4 out of 5 because it can get repetitive sometimes.
Yeah, I will give it that. It is repetitive to an extent. I would give it a 4 out of 5. That's a very fair rating.
So we got August. We got Fall Guys.
Oh, the best game
The
of the year.
splash that ended up only being a little drip.
Yeah, right. Then Fast and Furious Crossroads, the best
Game of the year. Game of the year. Should have been game of the year.
Yeah.
Fucking up.
Vin
Was
Diesel
so
was in
mad
that
it didn't
game.
win.
Yeah.
It did. That was him to lead up into making, Arc 2. I'm so mad he got snubbed.
And then we're gonna go down. Anyone give a shit about Madden?
I heard
Madden.
really bad things about Madden.
Me too.
Like, it's insane how bad it got roasted.
Then we got Marvel's Avengers.
Honestly, that should have been game of the year. Fuck Vin Diesel.
And then we have the
If Vin
Tony
Diesel
Hawk
happens to be a fan.
Oh, Tony Hawk remake was pretty good.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good. Super Mario 3D All Stars.
Didn't even
Serious
hear about it.
Sam 4.
Oh, okay. So Serious Sam 4, I think, isn't it still in like? No. Serious Sam 4. All right, I was thinking about the other one.
Postal 4?
Yeah, I was thinking about Postal 4. But Serious Sam 4 was so bad.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't good.
Like they had this whole like thing where they're like, see the screen right here, and it has like a billion fucking enemies on it. That's actually what the game is like. That's the real game. But like that scene in the game, it has
Was that
those
at the
many.
beginning?
No, it's at the end. Well, actually, no, it is at the beginning and at the end, but it's like a set piece, really. But basically, in the game, all those enemies you see on screen, they do not have unique AI. They're all just like copies of each other. Like every animation plays at the same time for all of them. Like the game just, it looks like a game from like 2013. So.
Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh, terrible.
You know,
The
surprisingly,
fact that
actually,
was
I heard that some people, like everyone I talked to, liked it, but like when I saw it, it wasn't my cup of tea, you know? I didn't really see it as.
not my cup of tea, but I'm gonna throw this out here. Battlefront 2 is a great game. I love Battlefront 2. Obviously played on my channel, right?
Mhm.
Now, nobody plays Starfighter Assault because that game mode sucks. And I'm gonna throw that out there as an honest, like, nobody plays Starfighter Assault. There's a few people that do, and it's all the same people. Just because the fun part about that game is playing as heroes, right? But when you play as heroes in Starfighter Assault, they can't die. They're broke. You basically can't die.
Mm.
You have to be really stupid with them to die as them. So, yeah, it's the game nobody asked for.
I think the reason people liked it is because like it's in VR, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it.
Moving on, we have Ghost Runner.
Oh, I love watching Ghost Runner speedruns. They're so much fun.
It's a hard ass game though. I have it. I think it's a fun game. It is hard though. And then you have Watch Dogs Legion. I'll give that like a 3.
It was a 3. I would say 3 is perfect. It's an average game.
Yeah.
Nothing too special.
November.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
That's all
Which
I can think of.
I have it. It's fine.
I heard it was a decent. I played the beta. It was a decent COD. It wasn't like anything special.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Like 3 out of 5.
Ubisoft game.
It's not even about the
Ubisoft.
assassins anymore. It's just fucking things they think are cool.
Well, what this game feels like, guys, people loved Assassin's Creed 4. So what if we just like make a new game like Assassin's Creed 4, but not Assassin's Creed 4? And then everyone was just like going real nuts. Like he's a genius. And that's what it feels like. And it's like me, who's played almost every single Assassin's Creed game, is like, if I wanted to play Assassin's Creed 4, I'd play 4, but like, alright, cool.
And we got Spider-Man Miles Morales. I like that a lot. Probably give it a... I'm not sure, because like I would say like the side missions are repetitive, but that's the same thing with Spider-Man PS4, but the only difference is Spider-Man PS4 is longer. So I want to go with the 4 out of 5 because if Spider-Man PS4 was shorter, I would give it a 4 out of 5. That's a 5 out of 5 game for me. So I'm probably going to give Miles Morales a 4 out of 5. And then blah 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 blah. Cyberpunk, I'm not gonna review it based on the experience I've had because I would give it a 4 out of 5. But I'm gonna be really like objectively speaking, the game is not ready. So as of now, it's sitting at a 2 out of 5. The game needs to be fixed. That's why when you just break it down, the game needs to be fixed.
So I feel like Cyberpunk 2077 was just... It's one of those games where I feel, from what I've seen in the gameplay, that it's an immersive sim. So games like Dishonored, Prey, Deus Ex.
Yeah. It's just... It was overhyped and everyone thought it was going to be like this big thing when really no one knew what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And the open world feels like it was just tacked on at the end.
Yeah.
Like the game could have existed entirely as a linear game with like side content. Like exactly like Deus Ex.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously they also cut so many features. Like dual wielding, I remember, was the one that went huge and we talked about it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's stuff like the life pads and the whole backstory shit, and then there's obviously, like, for example, you're supposed to... The spider robot that you get in, like, one of the first missions, apparently that was supposed to be a bigger part of the game, where you could have it at any time.
Oh, yeah.
And use it in, like, a Netrunner build. And all that stuff. Like, the game just feels like, because of investors, they were like, we have to get this game out. We don't have money. Like, chances are the game would have been better off had it not been for COVID. But, yeah, go ahead, man.
But I would say the game has a long road ahead if it wants to rebuild, and I feel like once it gets rebuilt, they're planning on adding in more content. So I hope for the best for this game. So
I agree.
Objectively speaking, it's a 2 out of 5. It's a 4 out of 5 when it comes to my experience.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 3 out of 5, but if the game was able to fix things up, maybe a 4.5, maybe even a 5.
Yeah.
Because, like, the story, I really, really liked.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really good. And then, for the most part, that's about it. And then, it just says video game-based films released. Sonic the Hedgehog came out this year. I'll keep that in mind.
I have not seen it. I keep forgetting to go watch it, but man,
it's not bad.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
heard it was
bad.
pretty decent. I heard it was pretty decent.
For a video game movie, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast.
I can't wait for the Monster Hunter movie to come out. That's gonna be shit. It's already
It
out.
looks
I heard.
so bad, dude.
I
I
heard-
don't even want to.
Well, it's made by the guy who made all the Resident Evil movies, so.
Yeah, those are just massive hits.
Well, they're stupid fun to watch for the action, at least.
Yeah.
So like maybe the actor, it's the same actor too. What's her name?
Mila Jovovich or something.
Yeah,
like
she.
that.
Mila Jovovich or something. Yeah, she's to the director. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she is, and that's why she's in all of his movies. But yep, that wraps up 2020. So now, real quick, we're just gonna look at 2021 when it comes to games.
Back for Blood, man.
So
We're excited.
Here, I can do this one if you don't.
yeah,
have the
you can
list.
take over.
All right.
I have the list. Do you?
Yeah, no, you can send it to me. I just pulled up like I pulled up a video with like all the games timestamped.
Oh, I'd rather have you do that then, because this list kind of sucks.
All right.
Let's be real. Kuyo's favorite game is coming out next year, within the next couple of years.
It's
Yeah.
never gonna come
Mass
out.
Effect.
I hope that game dies. Fucking develop.
Fuck you too, bro.
All right. So, first big game coming out next year on this list is Far Cry 6. So, what are your thoughts on
God.
Far Cry 6, guys?
It's a Ubisoft game. We all know
Yeah,
how that goes.
You're gonna be
The
climbing
guy
towers.
who plays the villain.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We were talking about this before the
can't-
podcast. started.
Quan C or something. I love him. He's a great actor, and that's the only reason I'm actually super excited about it.
Yeah, Far Cry always had like pretty decent villains up to Far Cry 4.
I feel
I
like
didn't mind Far Cry 4. I liked Finn.
I like Far Cry 5. Oh, Far Cry 5 as a whole, like a narrative, I thought it was a pretty good game. Like the whole concept of there is no way that you can get out after what you've done. Like you kind of
Yeah.
fucked yourself over. This is like once you started this war, like there's no way out. I kind of liked all that stuff.
I
Just-
wish with 5, I heard 5 had a really divisive ending that was really controversial, and then
Yeah.
like people at the end kept comparing it to like politics today, and they said they should change it, and so they ended up changing it last minute.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
What was the
Yeah.
review about it?
It was a critique on today's society, on today's politics, and was supposed to be a massive dig at American politics,
Oh,
and people didn't like that.
Well,
uh,
it still kind of was like that.
yeah.
So
well, spoiler alert: the guy nukes the fucking like world,
yeah, that's why the New Dawn happens.
and that game's not good either. Far Cry 5 was okay.
Yeah, like I feel like in terms of gameplay and everything, it didn't really do.
I played it with Emma, and literally the whole time we just fucked around.
Well, all right. Next one is Horizon Forbidden West.
Never beat the first one.
So when I've looked at gameplay, I've never played the first one. I heard it was good, but whenever I look at gameplay of it, I'm just like, this is it. Like this is the thing everyone fucking loves so much. Like it just feels like a game that's very
So I have
one-dimensional.
a very similar opinion to that. I have a very similar. So when I heard a lot of good things, obviously with it, and then it was on sale for like $30, and I was like, oh fuck, I've heard a lot of good things. I'm gonna get this, and I've been craving. It was like the middle of summer, right? So nothing new was really coming out at the time. It was last year. Played it, and you know how some people will go into Skyrim and be like, like obviously a lot of people love Skyrim, and then they sit there and say, there's those people who be like, well, there's nothing to do. Like, there's nothing that makes you do anything, right? Like, you're not forced to go out and do the main quest line. You're not forced to go out and explore. You kind of do whatever the fuck you want.
Mhm.
I got that vibe with Horizon Zero Dawn. The only difference is Skyrim has so much to do that you can find something to do eventually, right? That game, I felt like there was just nothing to do at all outside the main storyline. You have this big expansive world, but there was nothing to do in that world. You know, it just felt very empty to me.
Yeah, no, it just looks like all right. I think a good example, since you brought up Skyrim, was like I remember a few years back, 2013 or 2014. There was this guy on YouTube who made a playthrough about being a cabbage farmer, and he just played the entire game as a cabbage farmer. Like that's the kind of freedom I would have wanted from Horizon, but really it just looks like a fancy tech demo. Because like,
Well, yeah. I mean, hell, I think I did something once similar to that where I was like, so I've beaten Skyrim on the Xbox 360. I had nothing left to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a city guard in Solitude. I'm like, fuck it, why not? I'm bored. So I'd sit there and just do that as I talk to my friends online.
yeah. Next game then we have I'm looking Ghostwire Tokyo. So do any of you remember that one?
Isn't that like a ghost game?
Yeah, no. But
I have no idea.
It's the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, finally.
So you know the people who
The
made
game we love to wait.
what was that game where it was like made by Bethesda and it was the horror game?
I know.
Evil Within.
Yeah, so
No.
the people who made Evil
No,
Within 1 and 2.
Rogue Warrior. That was.
The people who made Evil Within 1 and 2, they're making this, and basically it's like an open world first person game where you're like a ghost hunter and you have
I'm
like
okay with that.
superpowers. Yeah, the game my only
Look
issue
here, if I don't get my Bill Murray cameo, I'll be upset.
my only
Why?
issue with the game
At this point, he just wants his paycheck. He's like Harrison Ford. He's like fucking. He looks so fucking depressed.
yeah, what is he even gonna do with the money at this point?
Who? Harrison
Dude.
Ford?
Yeah, Harrison Ford, Bill Murray, all
Do Harrison Ford things.
Harrison Ford. He'll buy a plane just to crash it again. He can't fly for the life of him.
He's crashed a plane like 4 times.
Oh my god! A golf course
he-
and a fucking runway at an airport. You're on fire right now, man.
Literally.
But yeah, Ghostwire is one of those games.
Oh, you should
that-
call Vin Diesel.
Oh no,
Yeah, really.
not Vin Diesel.
No, he doesn't know how to pull out. He doesn't know how to put out fires. If he knew how, Paul would still be here.
Oh
Come on, you line that one up.
And demonetized.
Yep.
You did it finally.
Yep. You
Uh,
line that one up.
no! All right, and then
We're gonna get a phone call from Vin. Like, talk about me?
Of course.
then
Just
kind
in
of
case.
wrap up Ghostwire Tokyo. Basically, so I have this thing where I see a fucking game, and if I see stilted animation, I'm like, that game is gonna be fucking terrible. It happened with Fallout 76. It happened with Cyberpunk. I never said it to anyone, but I'm like, those fucking animations look bad. They don't look good. They look like super stilted. That game is gonna release in such a bad state. And that's exactly what Ghostwire Tokyo looks like right now.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna say it now, that game is gonna release in a very bad state. Unless like by next year it looks a lot better.
All right, so we're gonna quote you on that. And when it comes out, and if you're right,
You guys
what do you
buy
want?
you guys buy me YouTube.
I'll
Okay.
buy you YouTube, yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, next game. Did Outriders come out yet? I feel like it did. I heard it was a shitty ass game.
What was Outriders?
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking
Was it
about.
that like class game,
It
like
was-
Borderlands?
I just remember the name is all, and like I remember one of the YouTube channels I watched did like a playthrough of it, and it was just, well, not a playthrough, but like they were at an event for Ubisoft or EA or something, and the game was just really boring.
Yeah, the name sounds
No.
generic.
I can't help but just sit there and say, if it's like Borderlands, I feel like other companies need to stop trying to copy Borderlands. It's been done, and there's nothing else that will be able
Hell,
to copy
even
it.
Borderlands can't do Borderlands right
Yeah,
anymore.
Borderlands 3
that
was
is
such a
very true.
disappointment. I did not like Borderlands 3. It was such a disappointment.
I had a lot of friends that really liked it, but at the same time, that they were also the same people like, oh yeah, we beat it in a day, and I'm like, what? Like, you beat it in a day? Well, that's not good. Like,
I
you
think
shouldn't-
Borderlands 2 is the peak, and there's nothing that will ever top that. That is just the best. It's one of my favorite first-person shooters, hands down.
And then after that, we got Dying Light 2.
Oh, I'm
Excited.
pumped for Dying Light 2.
Yeah, I really
love
am.
the first one.
What's his
Yeah, the
name? The
first
guy,
one.
the guy from Fallout New Vegas is doing the story for it.
Oh, it must be good then.
Yes, it must be. It has to be. Apparently, the world is supposed to be like reactive to everything you do, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I saw that
Awesome.
as well.
I fucking love that. I've been so excited for Dying Light 2 since they announced it. I think last year they announced it at E3. I want to say it was last year.
Think?
I saw the trailer. I don't know if it was last year.
I don't think it was last year. I think it was probably around the Game Awards.
Yeah, that seems about right.
And then they
I
showed
know
it off
it came
at
out
E3.
recently. It looked good though. I was actually
Yeah.
really excited.
And then we got Atomic Heart. I don't know if any of you've heard of that one, but it was like the first game that they did ray tracing demos with.
Is it the game with set in Russia with the robots?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks
So-
like
You're set in Russia with robots.
Bioshock.
The thing with the game was, though, that like apparently all the demos they showed up until the most recent one were all fake and made in like Maya. And that was like leaked from like Glassdoor.
That's
So-
really funny.
And like they didn't have any C++ coders until like literally last year.
All right, I'm afraid for that game.
All right, next one. We all know about this. Halo Infinite.
I don't have an Xbox, but it's also coming to PC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed
I
off
hate-
the new graphics recently.
I hope it's good.
I hope it is good too. I can't help but just hope.
Because I played the Master Chief Collection on PC, and I still think Halo Combat Evolved all the way to Reach. After that, just the Bungie era. I don't think you'll ever be able to like top that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I feel like 343 they haven't done anything right.
Well, the problem is Halo 4. They saw, oh, Call of Duty mechanics are popular. Let's implement it into Halo, and then the rest just went from there. The problem with 343 and how they use Halo is they try to go based off of first-person trends. Which is what I
makes
hate.
no sense in my opinion.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
Bungie's like, I'm gonna go do my own shit.
So
That's the way it
then
works.
next game we got I don't know that one, so we're not gonna say it. Elden Ring. Y'all excited for Elden Ring?
I
Yeah.
hope it's good.
I just
Like
wish
Goblin, a little
I just
excited
want
about it.
From Software to not just do another Souls-like game, you know? Like Sekiro
Yeah.
was Souls-like.
Yeah.
Everything has been Souls-like. The last time they didn't do a Souls-like was Dragon's Dogma.
I like Dragon's Dogma a lot too.
But like Elden Ring just looks like Dark Souls, but now the guy who wrote Game of Thrones is doing it.
The thing, I am a little afraid it's going to be just exactly like Game of Thrones. Like, I really am.
Game of
I-
Thrones, the final season on
The
HBO.
Red Wedding,
I-
man! Oh my god. I've never
Game
seen
of Thrones-
Yeah, neither of us.
Okay, so I have, and now that it's a retrospective thing, right? Now that it's over, I can kind of look back on it. I can't help but think that like everything we saw was super predictable now. Like the fact that we didn't see it coming was like kind of like, okay, well, we're stupid. Like, I don't know. It's as a writer's point of view, it seemed very like they went for the shock factor, and I can't help but just compare it to like, I know a lot of people. It's why I don't like Walking Dead anymore. They kill people off just for the sake of it.
Oh, I hate
And-
that show. Right out the gate, I hate
And then everyone would sit there and be like, yeah, be like Game of Thrones, where your character deaths have meaning and stuff. And then they can't help but sit there and be like, did they though? It felt like they did kill off characters for the sake of killing off characters and upsetting the audience to surprise them. Like it did feel like that now that I look back on it, and it's like, how is that any different? You know,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Oh,
I was so disappointed with Game of Thrones' ending. It was so bad.
yeah, Elden Rings is just the evolution of Dark Souls. That sucks.
But like a game, I think similar to Dark Souls in terms of like the lore, because Dark Souls has really good lore. So I would like a game that's like maybe more like Skyrim, but with the lore of Dark Souls, or even like Dragon Age or Dragon's Dogma would be perfect.
I just hope it's like you know how Jedi Fallen Order had like some Souls-like aspects, but it was still like an accessible game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I hope it's someone like that.
I did really like how Jedi Fallen Order was structured. I think that was perfect in how they organized everything. That was one of the few games that I was hoping they would do a sequel, because I know it was like a maybe because of EA and single player games. They're just kind of like, well, if it works, it works. If not, we'll just throw it in the garbage disposal, then set it in a fighter, then throw it in the incinerator. But I don't know. I loved Jedi Fallen Order. I thought it was one of the best games I played in probably the last decade.
I found out that it has New Game Plus.
Yeah, they added that. I think about like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I got it on PC.
All right.
So I'm probably gonna play.
So next game then, System Shock Remastered. I don't know about you guys.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I've been waiting so fucking long for System Shock.
Did you play the demo?
Yeah, I did actually.
It's on Steam. It's fun.
So I don't know if Eric knows anything about this, but for the audience,
No idea.
So Deus Ex, Prey, Dishonored, all those games, System Shock 1 and 2 are like they're the original immersive sims.
They're the mommy and daddy.
Yeah, exactly. So like this being remastered, I'm ready, man. I can't wait.
Same here.
All right, and then we have one last one on this list: Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It looks fucking bad. I don't know if you guys saw
Question: Is it similar to Vampire, or is it actually like Vampire?
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever heard about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines?
because there was a Vampire that came out, I think, early last year.
It's
with
not
the wide.
It's not much like Vampire.
Alright, so I don't care.
It's like a roleplay game.
So I was like,
yeah.
So the original Bloodlines was like it was like critically acclaimed. It's like a cult classic. It's really good. But then this one came out, and oh my god, the trailers they showed, the animations are glitchy, like dialogue doesn't sync up properly. The world is completely fucking empty. Like there's no NPCs walking around. It's not a big game, by the way. It's supposed to be like a 4 to 5 hour game, but like you're supposed to be able to play through it like 40 times and have different endings. But like this one, it doesn't look great, so I'm not excited.
Yeah.
All right.
We're also missing God of War sequel, which presumably is coming out next year, but it's probably gonna be delayed.
Yeah. I'm excited about that because the original God of War was really good.
That's my favorite game for the PlayStation 4.
I can't wait.
Anything else for upcoming games?
Evil Dead, I'm excited for. Back 4 Blood, I'm excited for, and then I think that's about it.
Yeah, alright, so I think with that, we can move on to the next section. I'll give it to you, Eric. And this is the lightning round, by the way, but I don't know if we're going to call it the lightning round.
I'm gonna call it question.
Yeah, so the questions from the community right now, we have the nice little lightning round of one question, and it's for Ash. How mad is Ash about the Game Awards revealing Mass Effect instead of Starfield?
As it's been shown throughout the podcast, or at least hinted at, my excitement for the Game Awards this year was fucking crushed and destroyed. Every time I would see fucking space, I'd be like, Starfield? And every fucking time, it would be something else. And then a final time it happened, literally at the end, I was like, oh, they saved it for last, finally. After fucking, Fallout 76 came out in 2017? It's been 3 years, they're finally gonna reveal Starfield? This is like their dev cycle? Nope. Fucking Mass Effect Andromeda, after such the long build, a literal 2-minute build up, and it's Mass Effect Andromeda. Like Eric says, oh, it's gonna be an N7, and it's a fucking N7.
Yeah, me and Eric predicted it right out the gate.
Dude, I called it. I looked at Matt and just said, watch it be Mass Effect.
It's
totally Mass Effect.
I was fucking crushed. I've been waiting so long for fucking Bethesda Game Studios game that isn't multiplayer or shit. Like, I've played Fallout 76, but that's because I have nothing else to play.
Yeah.
This isn't like ESO where I actually
Wow.
play it for fun. I play it because I need something from my favorite game studio that, like, is the style
I
of
couldn't
gameplay I like.
imagine the disappointment. I wish I was there to see the disappointment on your face from when you realized it wasn't Starfield. It was
Everything.
actually
How is it Mass Effect? Up until the last second, it wasn't Mass Effect. It was literally just
I
like
called it too.
it was terrible. I'm crushed. I'll never see video games the same again.
Oh man, that was fucking funny, dude.
That was pretty good.
Well, all right then. With that, we can bring the podcast to an end. We're actually pretty well timed today.
Yay!
So this podcast is gonna premiere next year on the 2nd. So thanks guys for this year. I know the podcast didn't actually start at the beginning of the year, but the one that comes out this today, or when you guys are watching this, will. So thanks for last year, I guess, and looking forward to a great year ahead.
Yes.
Can't wait till the next Game of the Year awards when
no.
when we're doing the thing. She's gonna be sitting there going, "Oh, it's Starfield," and we're like, "Dude, no, it's
It's fucking Mass Effect.
it's StarCraft or something."
Oh my god! If they
We're doing a PAX East meetup, guys.
actually, we might all be able to, unless it's canceled.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
We can. Probably not next year, but 2022 maybe.
After $6, I'm kidding.
All
They'll
right.
probably delay it. That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
But anywho,
yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll have everything in the description. This is the LODcast, technically signing out for this year, and technically this is.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.